Here we go. Salute, folks. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Herndon, and I've returned today to whap and tap on your head with another ADH wealth solution. Before I go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. So today, y'all, I want to talk about, I guess you could call it a crossing of fields, right? Oh wow, that's gonna need some light. I don't need too much light, but turn on the light because it's dark in here, right? But when I talk about crossing of fields, again, I'm talking, most of my message is directed toward black men because that's, my main base and the perspective that I can speak of. But I think one thing that I see all too often is I see a lot of brothers who get into the hair care industry, and we always talk about how we are, all the way in and dominate our field or whatever. And then I know a bunch of guys who are like barbers and cosmetologists, and they don't know who Alonzo Herndon is. So if you're unaware, Alonzo Herndon was actually, let me Google it so I can give you the exact of what they say about him. Right? I'm gonna go to Google and type in Alonzo Herndon. Alonzo Herndon, American entrepreneur and businessman. So let's see. It says here, let's look at this Wikipedia. Alonzo Franklin Herndon was an African-American entrepreneur and businessman in Atlanta, Georgia, born into slavery. He became one of the first African-American millionaires in the United States, first achieving success by owning and operating 3 large barber shops in the city that served prominent white men. In 1905, he became the founder and president of what he built to be one of the United States' most well-known and successful African-American businesses, the Atlanta Life Insurance Company. So, why do I, as a person who sells life insurance, think that barbering and life insurance makes sense to go hand in hand? Well, in the black community, the barbershop is a beacon. It's where people go, especially guys and their sons, to hang out, talk about latest events, current events, the latest basketball game, the big fight, who's running for president, who's running for mayor. Did you see Jimmy Two Toes sleeping with Selena? Yeah, they was creeping at the nightclub, all kinds of stuff. But you can also go there and you can get gamed up from older gentlemen on, the facts of life. Marriage, relationships, parenting, and finance. So what better place than the barbershop to have someone like a life insurance agent, right? You have to go through the same thing to actually become a licensed barber. Is you got to go through schooling and training to get your license. So it's the same thing with the insurance license. You see Alonzo Herndon was successful at doing so. Why do you think that is? Because as a pillar of the community, when people are coming there, you're trimming them up. You can actually talk to them about life insurance and about the different things that is good for them and the benefits of it. Not just a check when they die. Right? So those are some of the things I think that when we target black men about wanting to be in different fields and going into these different arenas, barbering is a very comfortable arena. It can be, but what Alonzo Herndon required was a collared shirt from all of his barbers. So it was a uniform. Either black pants or khakis, black or brown shoes, white shirt, black tie, boom. Or at least a collared shirt if you're not going to wear the tie. But it has to be a button. And a smock while you're cutting. But, you know, new age things don't actually follow that model. But it's just odd that brothers aren't studied enough up on someone like Alonzo Herndon, and it's not something that's taught to our community heavily. So Alonzo Herndon didn't just go into insurance. He started off with the barbershops. After the 3 barbershops, he actually got into real estate, and he was one of the richest guys into real estate. When he got into life insurance, he bought the life insurance company, which was failing, for $140. He then grew the holdings to over $4,000, and that's when they started buying up other companies. And he died one of the richest black men in Atlanta, as evidenced by the Google search we just did, right? So, let me move my tablet. So, you know, I just think that those are some of the ways that, even though, and this includes, you know, people like myself, but if we're going to be critical, let's be critical, but add some solutions. Because what we're tired of, and we should know this from being on the receiving end, is everybody's critical, especially the youth right now. I speak to so many brothers who's my age, old heads in their 40s, 45, 50. Oh, these young generations are lost, and that means you fucked up, sir. While you was bumping 50 Cent. Not teaching the younger generation anything. It's a shame. There's a gentleman I know who is almost 50 years old, and we ended up having to get life insurance on him, luckily, but his daughter, who's half his age, is the one who's responsible for getting him this life insurance. And she's gonna foot the bill, because she knows, God forbid he dies, she's going to end up with the bill anyway. But especially in our community, we don't think about stuff like that, because it's not taught to us in that manner, right? You know, we're quick to blow, you know, $50 on an eighth of exotic, but $50 a month on life insurance? Oh, I got to think if I can afford that. We're quick to blow $50 a month on our shorty's nails. Oh, I gotta get my girl's nails done. $50 every 2 weeks. I gotta get her a fill-in. But what happens if you know you're an abusive ass man? You know stuff happens if you in the streets. Shit. You know things happen if you're just living regular life. I have a client who has a best friend, and her best friend is now a single father. Why is he a single father? Because his baby's mother was in the car with their son, and they got into a car accident. And luckily the child lived, but the child's mother didn't. So he had to figure out something, uproot himself, and become a single father and take care of that child alone, which he didn't have custody of, but thankfully he was able to gain custody after the passing of the mother, which we already know is difficult for a lot of men anyway, especially black men. That's what y'all complain about online often. Even had Killer Mike talking about child support. Yet y'all run around with this statistic talking about black men are the most involved fathers. Pick a side, bro. You're making me look foolish, and I don't appreciate it. At any rate, fellas, I just wanted to touch on topic of being able to, I guess, code switch. Because the thing is, when you learn about life insurance, you do learn about finance. You learn about estate planning. You learn about tax planning, elder planning, future planning, college planning. You learn about planning, life planning, which is what life insurance is about. It's about life events. So it's life event insurance, not death check. What a lot of people are offering to you with life insurance policies is just a check when you die, as opposed to something that you can use throughout your life. If you want to learn more about that type of stuff, you know how to hit me up. But I think, brothers, if we learn how to code switch and start doing maybe a technical skill, but also honing your sales skills. No matter what you do, you have to be in sales. I actually encountered that with a buddy of mine who is an accountant. He's a CPA, and ironically enough, he also has his life insurance license, because he understood he has a book of business with people with taxes. And then ironically enough, he was first my client. I showed him some stuff about life insurance. He went and got his life insurance license because he saw that with his book of business, which is people coming to him to get their taxes done, and with the power of the life insurance stuff, he could be a dangerous man. So even he said, you know, because we had some differences, agreements on stuff. And he was like, oh, yeah, nah. You know, I said, well, you know, we look at things differently because you're an accountant and I'm a salesperson. And he said, well, you got to realize I'm in business for myself. So when you're in business, you're always in sales. Because I got to sell to make people my client. So no matter what you're doing, you are in sales. So you want to make sure that you can cross-sell. So maybe you get some clerical skills, because you're always going to need clerical skills, even if you have a business that's brick and mortar and you do a technical thing like you do tattoos, or you cut hair, or you braid, or, you know, you do nails, or whatever it is. Or, you know, you customize clothing. You still need to understand clerical work for things like filing your taxes, for things like getting employee benefits, so you can roll out a roster of your employees to the person looking for this information, so you can give your employees good employee benefits to be a good boss. There's levels to this shit. We always talk about wanting to be a boss, but there's things that come with being a boss. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You have to learn this clerical shit, because you have to learn how to do things like attract and retain quality employees, so that you can keep your business open, so that you can build your legacy. But anyway, that's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.